New week, new championship case. This is number 5. William Byron, our current points leader. So we've reset the points after Watkins Glen. We have our new schedule. Today is going to be William Byron. Tomorrow, Chase Elliott. Wednesday, Ryan Blaney. Thursday, Chase Briscoe. And then Friday will be Bubba Wallace before we reset again after Richmond. But William Byron, let's talk about his season. For those of you who do not know, we do this for all 16 playoff drivers. We've already knocked 4 of them out. We've knocked out Denny Hamlin, Kyle Larson, Christopher Bell, and Shane Van Gisbergen. This is not a prediction. As I said, we do this for all 16. So please do not yell in the comments about how I picked 5 different guys to win the championship. This is not a prediction. Anywho, what we do here is we look at William Byron's season so far. We look at the playoff tracks, how he could fare, how he could manage his way through this wacky system to get to the Final Four and hit his shots at the championship. So Byron's season so far. William Byron has 2 wins on the season. The season opener, the Daytona 500. He became a back-to-back Daytona 500 champion. And then just a couple of weeks ago at Iowa, he picked up his 2nd win. He currently has 9 top 5s, 13 top 10s, 910 laps led, which is the most in the Cup Series this season. And of course, the first point I will make, as I make for every other driver, get yourself some playoff points. No such thing as too many playoff points. He currently only has 17 to his name. Of course, he has a good hold on that regular season championship right now. 42 points is a good chunk with only 2 races to go. Hold on to that thing. Get yourself 15 more bonus points. And of course, Richmond and Daytona, he has a great shot at winning. So if you can, go win those races. Now let's look at his numbers in the early round of the playoffs. Darlington, Gateway, and Bristol. I'm not concerned about this round for William Byron. He's got the playoff points to his name. Darlington is a fantastic track for him. I think he's led laps in all but 1 race at Darlington in the next gen era. He's consistently scoring stage points. He's consistently up front. Remember, led the first 230-something laps of the Darlington race in the spring. Not concerned about him at all at Darlington. They'll be contenders for that one. Gateway, the numbers aren't pretty. Hendrick has historically had a bad time at Gateway. His best finish is 8th in 3 races there. But once again, with all the playoff points Byron has, he can afford a mulligan, and he can really afford a mulligan and a half because he's going to have 30-something playoff points heading into the first round. And then Bristol. Bristol's been a decent track for him. A couple of top 5s, other than that, top 10s, and 2 finishes that weren't great, including a DNF. But as I said, I'm really not concerned about this first round for Byron. The second round is a little bit of a mixed bag for Byron. This first race at Kansas, Hendrick Motorsports has had a lot of speed at. Kyle Larson, we know how good he is at Kansas. Chase Elliott, also really good at Kansas. And Byron has had his moments at Kansas, and even Bowman. Bowman's led a ton of laps at Kansas, but Byron, for some reason, he just has not found that level that his other 3 teammates have found at Kansas. Like, he has a few good finishes. Finished runner-up in the fall of 2024. Has a pole in another top 5 in 2023, and a few other top 10s, but he finished 24th there in the spring. He has a 23rd in the spring of 2024, a 15th in the fall of 2023, a 16th in May of 2022. So Byron is a little inconsistent at Kansas, and that is a bit concerning. And then the second race is definitely concerning. William Byron has not scored a top 10 at New Hampshire in his Cup Series career. So this middle round here, this is the trip-up area. This is where I think if William Byron gets eliminated before the Final Four, I really think it's this round. The round of 8 lines up fantastically for him, the tracks, but this round right here is concerning. Kansas, he's up and down at. New Hampshire, he's never scored a top 10. The numbers at the Roval are actually really good. He's scored top 5s in his last 2 starts there. He's led a lot of laps there, but as I said, if they don't show up those first 2 races and it comes down to them having to win at the Roval, do you know who else is in the field at the Roval? Like, don't get me wrong. If William Byron was the one to break Shane Van Gisbergen's road course streak, like, that wouldn't be the most shocking thing ever. Byron's a multi-time road course winner, but right now that doesn't seem feasible. So William Byron, the 24 team, I think them having a lot of points is going to help. I think potentially winning a race or two before this round of 12, winning a couple stages, picking up another 7 to 8 playoff points on top of the 31, 32, whatever that number is, that's going to be a massive help for this round. But as I said, Kansas is a little bit of an up and down track for them. New Hampshire is a bad track for them. The Roval's better. The Roval, they have a legit shot at a top 5. Byron is a really good road racer. They're probably going to collect some stage points there. But as I said, they don't want to be in the position of having to win that race because ultimately it's probably going to be a Shane Van Gisbergen win. But if they can get out of this round, which I very much believe they can do, I think a top 10 is for sure possible at Kansas. He's due for a top 10 at New Hampshire. I think you could argue that. And then the Roval, as I said, I think he'll be in contention for a top 5. So I think they can have a really good round if they put it all together, but the numbers don't exactly support a good run at New Hampshire, and you really don't know what you're going to get out of this team at Kansas. But ultimately, realistically, I think they can get out of this round. I think a top 10 at Kansas is possible. I think a top 5 at the Roval is possible. And if you can do that with your 40 playoff points, 35 playoff points, I really don't think it matters what you do at New Hampshire. So I think they can advance to the round of 8. And as I said, William Byron, if he can get out of this round of 12, he's going to probably get into the Final Four because Las Vegas, Talladega, and Martinsville, I know there's some randomness to Talladega, but this might be what William Byron would pick as a schedule. Vegas in the next-gen car, he's only finished outside of the top 10 once. He's won a race back in March of 2023. He's led over 200 laps. He's consistently scoring stage points there. He's won some stages there. That's a fantastic racetrack for him. Las Vegas, great. I think they're extremely excited about that race. And now Talladega, you may be thinking, oh, you could get wrecked. Something could go wrong. Oh boy, it's a random super speedway. And that's true. It's a possibility. I won't deny it. But wait till you hear about these numbers. 5 straight top 10s at Talladega, including 3 top 5s at Talladega. If they can continue that streak, like let's say they go out to Vegas and they get a top 10, and they top 5 Talladega again, they're going to have a huge points buffer at Martinsville. Because at Talladega, other people are going to get wrecked. Other people are going to get bad track position due to fuel mileage. If they can execute Talladega like they have since 2023, they're going to have a big points buffer heading into Martinsville. And Martinsville, once again, is a really good track for Byron. He's won multiple times at Martinsville, not just in his career, but in the next-gen car. Hendrick Motorsports, historically, this is their best track. He's led over 300 laps there. He didn't have a great spring race, sure, but historically, he's really good at Martinsville. 2 wins, a bunch of top 10s, top 5s, laps led. I truly believe that, this round is, built for William Byron. Vegas is a track he's fantastic at. That 24 team is fantastic at. Talladega, they are on an insane streak right now for Talladega standards. 5 straight top 10s at Talladega, including 3 top 5s. How do you do that? And then Martinsville, a track he's won at multiple times. This is kind of the perfect round for him. Truly, I don't think I have to make much of an argument for this round. This is, perfectly set up for him. Then when it comes down to Phoenix, he's finished in the top 10 all but 1 time in the next-gen car. He's led laps all but 2 times, or 2 races, I should specify, consistently scoring stage points, winning stages. He won back in the spring of 2023. Phoenix is a pretty darn good track for William Byron, believe it or not. Led 83 laps this spring, in fact. So when we talked about Christopher Bell, we said that Christopher Bell is the best shot at taking down Team Penske at Phoenix. I would slot William Byron at second, honestly. He's been very consistent at Phoenix. The outlier is that March 2024 race when he finished 18th. But outside of that, his laps led 83, 19, 0, 95, 64. The guy leads a lot of laps at Phoenix. He finishes up front. He runs up front. he's going to have a really good shot at Phoenix if he gets there. And truly, I think the only thing between Byron and the championship 4 is that round of 12. Truly, that first round, they're not going to have a problem. That round of 12 could get a little tricky, and not necessarily because of the wild cards, but because Kansas, they've been inconsistent. New Hampshire, they've been bad at. But if they can just put forth decent effort there, survive, have a really good Roval race, they advance to a round of 8 that is extremely favorable for them. If they can get outside of that round of 8 to the Final 4, they have a great shot at winning William Byron's first championship. So thank you for watching this video. I hope you enjoyed it. If you've missed any of our 4 previous championship cases, go check those out in the playlist. If you're watching this in 2 weeks and you want to know, hey, what's, I don't know, Josh Berry's championship case, well, guess what? It'll be in that playlist as well. So thanks for watching this video. I hope you guys enjoyed it. We'll continue on with this series throughout this week and next week, and I guess a little bit after Daytona once we get those last couple of spots sorted. But thanks again for watching this video. I hope you enjoyed it. We'll see you tomorrow for the Chase Elliott. And don't forget, tonight is the Monday after, where we do our weekly live stream where we talk about everything that happened in the NASCAR weekend. So the Monday after Watkins Glen tonight on the YouTube. Check it out.